Hi, student. So I was really excited to do this because I'm very interested in technology and how people use it to put themselves out there in the job market and what it means for our culture, especially as a college student myself. I can totally empathize with your your situation. I mean, especially in jobs because jobs are difficult to find and come by, and especially good ones that are related to your career. So I think you're really well spoken, and I was really impressed by your lifelong journey of being dedicated to journalism. It was really nice to have those little anecdotes in there, and it showed that you really have passion for your work. I noticed some things that were sort of distracting and maybe presented you in a light that's not as professional as you could be presented, especially considering, I mean, I don't know, my perception of journalism is that you have to sort of be polished and perceived in a way that is put together. Some of the things I noticed were that behind you, the background, maybe it was a desk, had some papers on it, and that was kind of distracting. The food wrappers were kind of distracting. Um, and filler words a lot of the time, especially towards the beginning, and when you were looking down at your, I'm assuming it was a paper you had in front of you. Um, See, now I'm doing it too. It's difficult not to because we use them all the time and we don't notice. Something that a speech professor taught me once was that instead of saying or any sort of filler word, like is a big one, although I didn't hear you say like. Instead of doing that, you take a breath, and so it seems just like a pause and not that you're searching for your words. Something else I noticed about your video, I liked the length of it. It was like a perfect length. But it seemed a little bit disorganized. So I did notice that you had a paper, and at one point you looked down at it, and that's a great idea because a lot of the time, especially, it's interesting in front of a camera, sometimes people panic or lose their place for whatever reason. It might be better in the future to have it on your screen, like in a Word or a Google Doc or something. So it's in front of you and not down here, because I sort of felt like you were looking at your desk and talking to your desk instead of looking me in the eye. I have a lazy eye, so it probably doesn't look like I'm looking you in the eye either. But it's that was sort of distracting. What else did I mention? Oh, appearance was another thing, and movements. Particularly, you did this a lot. You were sort of stroking your goatee and covering your mouth. And as someone who's a little bit hard of hearing, it makes it difficult, and it's also really distracting. So moving your hands is a good attention grabber for people to catch focus on your face or on you and make you seem more engaging as a speaker. But it might not be the best idea to be, oh boy, I sort of look a little bit nervous, and so that was another thing. And were you actually applying for an internship at my position, you would have automatically lost credibility because you were wearing an athletic t-shirt. As I sit here in my pajamas, but it would have been better, in my opinion, that you were at least wearing like a collared shirt. I know that I've had a couple of Skype interviews, and so I put on like a collared shirt and a tie or whatever, but I was sitting around in like shorts or something like that, and sometimes they make you stand up, and they're like, are you actually dressed? So that could be something that people might not perceive as the most professional or put together, so it could be helpful as well. And I think the only other thing, I wrote a bunch of notes, and I thought that I would get to look at them to record my video, but I didn't. So, I think the other thing was, oh, your outline. It could be helpful to have your outline a little more organized. I'm not sure if it was that your outline wasn't organized or if it was that you had lost your place and you jumped around a lot. You talked about high school and you talked about college and then you talked about high school again. I feel like it might be a better idea to have it more cohesive in that way. But overall, you did a really great job. I don't know how many takes it took you. I don't know if you just sort of did it in one and done, or if this is your first webcam interview or presentation or not. But you did a really good job, and I think that with a little bit more practice and organization, you would have a really good shot at getting the position you wanted. Good luck.